Academy now is just like falling in line like everybody else. They've lost their sense of originality.
I have a question though, based on this HFPA lawsuit, do you think Academy voters will want to pick something different from what the Golden Globe voters picked? Just to say, like, we're above board, we're the real guys, we're not going to let
I don't think they think collectively like that anyway. It's of 6,000 people or whatever, individual people marketing their ballot, but they do talk to each other, and there is a sense of that. But I don't think they're going to go like, let's not do what the Golden Globes did. I think
pick
they
Toy
just,
Story 3.
Unless they suddenly hire Ricky Gervais, which wouldn't be a bad idea for the audience. I mean, look at, has anybody talked about the Golden Globes as much as they have this year?
And no one's talking about the winners.
No, the winner was Ricky. But I think that what's happened though is that movies aren't being perceived in their own right. They're being perceived as part of the drama of the movie's release and the movie's reception. And so I think that very much has an impact on how people see it or re-see it, and that has a lot to do with the shifting odds. You know, if Black Swan hadn't quintupled or whatever it is, its expected grosses, and just had the cultural impact that nobody expected. I didn't expect at the premiere at Telluride that any of this would happen. It was well received, but a phenomenon. I did not foresee it, but it happened, and it could be a spoiler for that reason, and it connects with young people particularly, and with cross marketing. It's very exciting.
Well, here's the thing you and I were talking about briefly beforehand. Do you think it's possible to watch a movie toward the end of the year and immerse yourself in it, and not look at it like, ooh, Natalie Portman's going to get a Best Actress nomination?
Right.
I mean, can you look at it without handicapping?
No,
that's really a great point. I find that very difficult for movies. I feel sorry for these films that come out at the end of the year. Every movie we go to as critics, we're looking at it, does this have potential for awards? It's not like, let's just look at the movie for what it is. And it's very difficult for films now, you know, especially with us, with pundits, going to every single film and saying, like, this has got to be a contender or not. We'll knock it down right away if it's not.
Well, and try being Annette Bening. She's 6-month-old bred versus Natalie Portman. That's a tough contest, and it's an unfair contest, because how can we ask movies to perform this way, and yet that's the way it's done? You
know, I mean, yeah, in Annette Bening's case, coming out in June is obviously a disadvantage in this case, because Natalie Portman's got all the heat, the movie's got all the heat, it's getting all the attention. Kids are all right, they're just fighting to bring it back and keep it in people's minds. I do understand that Annette Bening will be out there post-nomination.
She's going to give some...
doing Leno the day after, doing, you know, and now coming out. But, you know, whether
it's... Too late, honey. All of us bloggers asked for interviews months ago, and the answer was no, 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 no.
Oh, I interviewed her this week.
Yeah, because you do Q&As, that's why you had access to it. The rest of us...
No, I talked to her on the phone.
Oh, okay.
She was going to pick up her kids.
Oh, okay, I was asking for
you stalked her on the way to school?
We were asking for these interviews, and she was very standoffish and diva-ish. Now that she's losing the momentum, she's saying, "Oh, okay, I'll let me talk to these guys."
Well, like the Sean
Not that I'm
Penn.
bitter.
Sean Penn wouldn't play nice for a long time, and then when you finally
yes.
gave interviews, you won.
I know.
He
sung so low, he gave me
I
an
think it's
interview.
like that. There was a classified ad in the Village Voice that said, "Feminist 35 allowing men to buy her drinks now." I mean, I didn't write this ad. So, anyway.
We just lost something for Christy.
My glasses.
It's okay.
That's right.
Do you need him to see?
I will in a minute, but I'll get mine. So I think that it's yeah, you have to be, the campaign is part of the drama. I mean, it's the meta drama. It's what's going to help determine the winners, and that's what it's
You know, it's interesting to me the way the whole campaigns have gone now. It's like the studios determine what is going to be their movie now, and that's what they force down everybody, you know. I mean, they toss aside a lot of movies that the Academy members could discover for themselves, but they don't put the money behind them or anything. So they decide what it's going to be. This is all determined beforehand.
Right. When the public asks, how do we know what is going to be nominated for an Oscar or be in the race, the answer is very simple. It's what Pete's saying here, is the only chance a movie has to win an Oscar is that if there is a campaign. And we know who the campaigners are, we know what their budgets are, because, as our dear friend Murray Weissman once told me, the last movie to be nominated for Best Picture without an Oscar campaign was American Graffiti 37 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how long time has transpired before a movie actually broke in on its own merits.
Yeah. Well, and look at the King's Speech. Somebody who claimed to have at least a good guess said that the Oscar campaign is well under $3 million. 3 people who aren't inside but are interested outsiders have estimated the social networks campaign at $20 million. Is that a fair fight? I don't know.
I mean, and boy, I wrote something, I said, it seems like they're spending more than other movies are. And boy, did I hear from their consultants right away, one who said, this is an inflammatory statement. It seems like you're spending more money than anybody else. Is an inflammatory statement, but that's it. They're very sensitive about these numbers. And she said, how do you know that? How do you know that we're spending more? And I said, well, every other campaign is telling me that, and I trust them because they know where the money goes and all that. And one of those campaigns actually told me what they're spending, and I know they're not spending nearly what you are. But yeah, so, you know, I said, and also I'm just seeing the TV ads every 5 minutes. And she said, well, that's the LA market, and those ads are cheap.